Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and we'll go back to another movie review. And this time, um, I'm reviewing a film where I've been wanting to review for some time, and I've enjoyed this for a long time, and I think it's a very underrated movie. Let alone you want to talk about you want to talk about superhero movies. I think this is a very underrated one. Um, I know it's not loved by all though, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the film, and I had fun. I had fun with the film. It was on a very entertainment value level, and it was a really fun, especially a fun adventure movie as well, and especially for a superhero film. And I still think it's an underrated film. And today I'll be reviewing of the 1996 superhero film of The Phantom, released in 1996, starring Billy Zane as Kit Walker, aka the Phantom. Now the Phantom, it's based on an old, I think it was an old but based on the comic strip by Lee Falk, the comic strip of the Phantom, and funnily enough, this came out on like the day after my birthday back in 1996. It came out released June 7th. Mine was June 6th, so this came out like the day after my birthday. So, and back then I remember because my dad, he saw this in a theater. Sadly I didn't though. But my dad, he saw this in the theater. But I do remember back then there were some commercials about I think it was Subway that had commercials of this advertising. So yeah, they put a lot of advertising to promote this promoting this movie, and sadly, though, when the film came out, it got mixed reception. The film was a box office flop. Sadly, because it cost about $45 million, which the budget is definitely on the screen. I did give it that though. It's definitely the budget on the screen. But sadly, it made about $17.3 million. So it was a box office flop, and for reasons probably because of a character that's like lesser known, or maybe how the film is though. But regardless to me, I don't think this film deserved a flop because I really enjoyed this. I had fun with the movie. Billy Zane, he knocked it out of the park as the Phantom because Billy Zane, he was a fan of this character as well when he first got the negotiated during the time when he did Dead Calm, and in director Simon Wincer. Which originally director Joe Dante was gonna make this film. He was originally gonna direct it though, but it was passed on to Simon Wincer. But Joe Dante, director Joe Dante, he does still serve as an executive producer on here though, so he's still involved with it. But Simon Wincer, he was also a fan of the comic as well, so. And he was really passionate about this, and same with Billy Zane. And I could definitely see them. They both had fun while making this movie, and Billy Zane, get in shape in the role as well, and he did a really great job as the Phantom. And Simon Wincer, he also did a good job as making this film, because they both were passionate about this, and I definitely can see it that they had fun while making this film, and why they're so passionate about it. So, yeah. So they both worked really well on that. So, and Simon Wincer, this is a guy I've reviewed a couple of his other films. Of course, when he directed Operation Dumbo Drop, which I reviewed a while back, and of course he directed the classic, one of my childhood classics, Free Willy. But he also directed the Light Horseman. Well, he was a producer on that though. But he directed Snapshot, Harley Quinn, Daryl, Quigley Down Under with Tom Selleck and Alan Rickman. May rest in peace. Yeah, I like Quigley Down Under, and so does my dad. My dad is a fan of Quigley Down Under. He directed that. He directed, like I said, Free Willy, Lightning Jack. Even Operation Dumbo Drop. They even directed the Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, which actually I did not mind though. I don't think it's not as bad, not as good as the first two though, but I don't think it wasn't that bad. Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles. But yeah, but I enjoy Free Willy, and I like Operation Dumbo Drop. Quickly Down Under I enjoy. But I thought he also did a good job with this film as well. And it's too bad this film flopped, and I don't think it's not as bad as a 4.9 IMDb. I disagree with that. I definitely disagree on a 43% Rotten Tomatoes. Definitely disagree with that. And also written by Jeffrey Boehm. I think this guy had a hand on the Indiana Jones films, I think, as well. Yeah, and the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Which I definitely see. This is definitely more in the vein of the Indiana Jones type of scenario. Adventure. Well, this takes place in 1938. How the Indiana Jones takes place back in the day. In the jungle and the supernatural stuff like that. So it's definitely in the same vein. Well, but a superhero movie though. But of course, but somewhere the same realm or vein of Indiana Jones in a way. Because your villain wants these supernatural treasures and all that. For power. So in a way, it is kind of like a superhero version way of Indiana Jones in a way, which in a good way. And I was definitely really impressed with I like the way Holloway was some really good stunt work and the effects. Some good practical stuff in there, for stunt sequence, from the opening when the Phantom is chasing the bad guys, and then ends up him saving this kid that he knows, the truck on the bridge, and which is actually see a truck on a wooden bridge and it's falling over. Really good stunt work, having the effect of that, having an actual practical truck on the bridge almost toppling over. Good stunt work as well, and many others. And it was definitely the stunt work was really the cinematography was handled well, and the setting shots and how the way it looked back in 1938. Not only the jungle sequence, but the city of New York. And the whole story is that they make the bad guys thinking that it's this same Phantom that they killed over and over again, that this guy is immortal, but actually the truth is, explaining the other movie that Billy Zane explains, that it's been generations, between a father and son betraying the Phantom, so the Phantom, he's not immortal, he's just a human in a purple suit, except maybe count the only supernatural thing is the ring that they wear, so. But he's just a normal human, and it's been passed down since 400 years. So it's been 400 years of generations of father son as the Phantoms, make it seem like it's this one person who's immortal, but it's not. It's been generations passed down. And Billy Zane, he's the 21st generation of the Phantom. And you see him talking to the ghost of his father, who was the previous one. And Billy Zane, he did a really good job. Of course, my brother, he's a fan of Billy Zane because he voiced Ansem in the first Kingdom Hearts game. The very first Kingdom Hearts game, he voiced Ansem. Yeah, return. My brother Taylor, he's always quoting, "Return to darkness, Kingdom Hearts. Fill me with darkness, supreme darkness." Yeah, in the very first Kingdom Hearts game, Ansem, that was Billy Zane. That's why my brother he's a fan of Billy Zane, because how the way Billy Zane portrayed the voice of Ansem, how the way he was quoting it. So, yeah. But so I advise him to watch this, because if he likes Billy Zane, he would like the Phantom. And Billy Zane did a really good job. And also because James Cameron, I believe that he liked Billy Zane, his performance in this film. That's why he got him to cast in Titanic. Because there are some positive things out of Even though it's not loved by all, though, but there's some positive things. I mean, James Cameron, he probably liked Billy Zane in this. That's why he chose him to be in Titanic. But yeah. But like it takes place in 1938, and it's the bad guys. They got the hold of one skull because our villain, which an actor I also enjoy, Treat Williams. Treat Williams is also an actor I also enjoy. Like I said, one of my all-time favorites, Deep Rising. He was in like I said, the Substitute sequels. I think he also I forgot he portrayed James Franco's father in 127 Hours. And of course, he was also in Steven Spielberg's 1941. I enjoyed Treat Williams, and Treat Williams, he was really fun as the role as the villain, Xander Drax. He was just really, and even you can tell he was also having fun. He was also having fun in his role, and especially how the way he gives some over top performance is like he, like by the end of the film, he's having fun in the role, and by the time his character dies, he even goes out having fun. Like this is oh, what was it This is unbelievable. So yeah, Treat Williams, he was very fun in the role. You know, and even where the museum was like, this is amazing. So yeah, but Treat Williams as Xander Drax, this rich guy, of course, always a rich guy who's always a villain. He wants to assemble these three skulls. Like one is jade, gold, silver, which this bad guy, his lead henchman named Quill, played by James Remar. Which James Remar, he's a hit and miss actor for me though. But I mean, some stuff I liked him in, but other stuff I didn't. Especially, how can I forget? Another film I most remember him from the abysmal Mortal Kombat Annihilation, where he played Rain. I'm sorry, Christopher Lambert. He is the one true. Raiden. So I was saying, I bring up that bad film. I mispronounced the good character's name. Raiden. Christopher Lambert. He was a good Raiden. James Remar, to me, no. But I liked him. But I did like him in this film as the lead henchman Quill. But which this Annihilation came out the year after this. But yeah, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Screw that movie. Terrible piece of garbage. The first Mortal Kombat is the only good one. And Christopher Lambert, he's the one true Raiden. To me, at least. But yeah, but James Remar, he was not a good Raiden in that sequel. But here, as Quill, he was fine in the role. As the bad guy. Because he has this tattoo, the spiderweb tattoos, like it belongs to the Brotherhood of Sang the Brotherhood, which, there was these, pirates, which, is actually, by the end of the lead pirate is actually played by Hiroyuki Takawa, which is actually from the first Mortal Kombat movie, in which he was also in Rising Sun, and he's been in many other films that I remember him from. But yeah, Hiroyuki Takawa. But he's been in other movies, like I said. But I'm mostly well known from starring in Mortal Kombat: Flawless Victory. He's the character of the great Kabai Sang, I think was the character's name, who was like part of that stuff, so that Brotherhood, whatever. But and then Kristy Swanson as Dana Palmer, who is an old ex-girlfriend of Kit Walker. And Kristy, of course, I thought Kristy Swanson did a pretty decent job, and of course she was the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer before from the movie. Before Sarah Michelle Gellar portrayed it in the TV show. But Kristy Swanson, she was the first Buffy the Vampire Slayer from the movie. That she did a fine job. But Catherine Zeta-Jones, which plays Sala, who is supposed to be like the another villain though, but all of a sudden she does this 180 change to being a good guy now, which that kind of confused me because what was the reason for her to be all of a sudden just do a switch and be a good guy? Because it wasn't like why to see Treat Williams did not treat her like crap in order for her to come to do a twist into a good guy. I didn't see that. I don't see how. That's one that's an issue. I don't see how. What was the reason for her to do such a 180 twist to also becoming a good guy? I just didn't get that. So but I mean, Catherine Zeta-Jones, but regardless, though, she did a good job too as well. Then you have Patrick McGoohan, who plays Billy Zane's father, who he talks to as well. There's also this in the where is the place in what jungle it took place in? I forget what jungle it is though. What's called though? What this island of Bengala. There's this authority captain who tells his man that the Phantom doesn't exist, but he knows he exists because he talks to him. He tells him that, keeps on telling him, that you're not real and all that. But Kristy Swanson goes to find what's about what Drax is finding out, and of course bringing to the skulls, and she gets captured by Captain Zeta-Jones, and then Billy Zane comes in to rescue, and he has like his horse, and he also has a wolf that's a friend of his, a wolf named Devil. And you get a little fun sequence where when they try to escape from the boat and onto the plane, and it looks like whoops, hit the ring on the desk. So if you heard that, that was my ring hit the desk. But and you get a real good stunt sequence where when they're going to go off the plane, and the Phantom's horse is underneath, and so they're going to jump from the plane onto the horse. First the Phantom goes, and really good stunt sequence where it just jumps from the plane onto the horse, then Dana Palmer, which there was also a stunt woman that did it as well. But regardless, it was a really good stunt sequence as well, from jumping on from the plane onto the horse, and a good explosion of the plane as well when it hits. Then Kristy Swanson goes back to New York, and same as Billy Zane, and then Tree Williams, which I thought it was a fun sequence where how he ends up killing this one guy, like this doctor, right? And it has like this periscope. I think it was a periscope, where you see through in, and he had like hidden blades within the where you put your eyes in, right? And when the doctor zooms in, it says "liar," then bang, which you don't see it though, but you hear the impact of it, and Crew Williams is like, I guess you won't be needing these anymore, and breaks them. Or he tells about the skulls, and this one brother wants in, the other brother wants out, and then he takes a spear and throws it at the guy, kills him. I mean, Treat Williams, he was really fun in the role. I enjoyed Treat Williams, and like when they get to the museum, when Billy Zane gets caught and brings the two skulls together, and they form. When the two skulls come together, they form like a line to show where the third skull is. And so Crew Williams is like, he's holding it, and he's like, and glass is breaking. Everyone's like, "This is amazing!" So then they all go. Billy Zane becomes the Phantom again, and another good sequence where when he goes down the elevator, he holds like the handles of his guns, uses to slide down the elevator cables, and then like another good stunt sequence where he's jumping from car to car open and in traffic. He jumps from one car to another on top. And I thought that was another good sequence as well. I think that was also that Billy Zane, he did it himself, I believe. If so, good job on Billy Zane. I believe that was him that actually jumped on from car to car in that sequence, and so that was if so, that was a good job on Billy Zane. He did a good job on that stunt sequence, if I'm right. Then he gets there's this cab driver, which I've seen this guy in other movies as well. This cab driver, he was in Ace Ventura. He was the police captain, I think, and then he had like the little role in with Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, Hear No Evil, See No Evil. He's a guy who got shot by the woman trying to hide the coin. Yeah, he plays this cab driver, and drives him to the harbor where they're gonna take off in the plane, and which he says, "Give my regards to Mr. Walker," because he doesn't know the Phantom. So yeah, but I recognize the guy from Hear No Evil, See No Evil, and then mostly from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. So they get to this uncharted island, and that's when they meet with the Brotherhood of the Sang, the pirates, basically. And like when one like the one of the gangster guy, like the other brother, he gets shot by a cannon, sends him flying back. And then when the Phantom shows up, he gets some good fisticuffs and sword fights. And then Hiroyuki Takawa, he gets getting devoured by his own set of sharks. And which is funny, this is rated PG, and you get some pretty this is rated PG, and you get some pretty intense sequences. That's for like you say for PG-13 rating though. Like when Hiroyuki Takawa falls in and gets eaten by sharks, and you do see some blood in the water. Or the sequence with the guy who got stabbed through the eyes with that periscope. So you get some intense sequences that's like considered not from PG rating, but for PG-13 basically. But still, so that's surprising. This one got away from some things that's for being rated PG. I mean, come on, back in the day, all the Jaws movies were rated PG and all that, and that's I mean. Yeah, especially especially the first Jaws, that was rated PG. I mean, so you can get away with some of the gruesome stuff like that for a PG rating back then. But yeah, they found out that they couldn't. They got the third skull though, but there was a fourth skull involved though, which they did not know about. Which it's the ring he wears, and it's like when Tree Williams had all three skulls and using comes a very hot laser and accidentally zaps James Remar, disintegrates him, and he starts pushing forward towards Billy Zane, and then he's using his ring, which has the power it does to push forward, and that's when Tree Williams he dies, but goes out having fun, in a fun way. He's even though he's about to die, he's still very excited about it. He's like, "This is unbelievable!" And then. So yeah, even Tree Williams, he even goes out having fun. So, and then afterwards, and they all get away safely, and then of course when Kristy Swanson knows that he is the Phantom, and it shows like I said how the Phantom was immortal, but it's actually been a generation of father passed on from father to son as the Phantom. So he's only human, not immortal. It's just been one person after another playing the Phantom. So, and then it says that they will marry one day when they come back. So, it ends with him riding off on his horse, and then they fly. And as a Catherine Zeta-Jones is also now a good guy now, which I don't know why that she did a 180. Also becoming a good guy. I don't know why. But yeah. But anyways. But the Phantom, I enjoy the film. I think it's an underrated movie. The cast, especially Billy Zane, who does a top-notch job as the Phantom. He was very fun. I can see what he was passionate about playing the role. He did a really great job. Tree Williams, like I said, he was very fun. And he was having fun in the role as Xander Drax. I said, even with Catherine Zeta-Jones' character, I still think she did a fine job, as well as Kristy Swanson, James Remar as the character Quill. Like I said, the action sequences I enjoy. Like I said, some good stunt work as well. Cinematography, like the settings of how setting back in 1938, the way it looked. Really good set pieces, production design. Like I said, it's just like in the way of Indiana Jones. It's looking at these supernatural treasures from a bad guy who wants power, and then in a good way. So that's because you got Jeffrey Boom, who helped write on Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which I think the guy passed away back in 2000, so that sucked. But yeah, it's definitely in a way like a version of Indiana Jones in a way, superhero version though. And like I said, the action sequences I enjoy, the stunt work, cinematography, set pieces, production design. The score I gotta mention by David Newman. I enjoy the score by this. I think this is an underrated score from the guy. I believe this is the guy's best score. I believe for me though. Okay. Because by other scores I enjoy though, he did the scores for Scooby-Doo, which I reviewed Scooby-Doo 1 and 2. He did the scores for those. He did for the Mighty Ducks, Bill and Ted's, both Bill and Ted movies. I really did, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, Throw Mama from a Train, Hoffa. Well, of course, he did the score for Cat in the Hat, though. Well, I can't blame the guy on the score, though, but it's just the whole film was just a train wreck about it. But yeah, Cat in the Hat. Sheesh. And he also did for the Flintstones as well, including the prequel as well, Viva Rock Vegas. But yeah, of course, in the 2000s, well, the 2010s, Spy Next Door, not good. But the last one I think he did was like Night School, film-wise. But I think he's also doing the score for Steven Spielberg's next film, the remake of West Side Story. But David Newman, I thought this is one of his best scores. I think it's an underrated score as well, and I really enjoyed it. Simon Wincer, he did a great job directing this film. He was passionate about this, same with Billy Zane, and it really shows both in the directing and Billy Zane's acting in this film. It really does show they're passionate about this film. They both did it really well, directing and acting wise, for the both of them. It's just too bad this film was a flop. Too bad, especially although I'm not a fan of this tagline right here, "Slam Evil." I do think this tagline I would say, is a bit dumb. Slam evil. Why don't you go and say like punish evil or something like that? But of course that's called the punish. That's like a Punisher reference though. But slam evil. I think they could have worked on that tagline a bit more. But yeah, and of course this came out at a time when, because this, besides like Marvel and DC films, well, it was mostly DC films that were making the money back then, especially with the Batman films and the Superman movies. But because Marvel wasn't hardly a thing back in the 90s, well, until when the first Blade came around. That was the late 90s though. But here in the early mid 90s, it was the superhero films that were not doing that well. Like this film didn't do that well. The Shadow, which made a little bit but not big, which I am gonna review. I think I'll review after this. I think I will. Because since I'm reviewing a superhero film that also took place like back in like the 30s and 40s, I think I'll give that a review too, since I got this here. But yeah, The Shadow wasn't doing that well, but this film flopped though, sadly. And I think it just didn't deserve to flop to me. I thought it was a very fun, entertaining action adventure film, especially with great acting from Billy Zane. I think to me this is his best role. People could praise him about Titanic. I mean, he wasn't the problem in Titanic, but it's just Titanic is an overrated movie. Although I enjoy his voice as Ansem in the first Kingdom Hearts game, but I like Billy Zane as an actor. I liked him in Dead Calm. I liked him in other movies he starred in as well. Of course, I regret he was in the first Critters movie as well. But Billy Zane's been in many other movies though. But this is my favorite role of his. I enjoyed Billy Zane. He did a great job in this film. Like I said, Tree Williams, fun villain. Really, you probably can say he was very hamming it up in the role, having fun in the role. But yeah, The Phantom I enjoy. I definitely give it a thumbs up. Even to my surprise, even Roger Ebert says it's one of the best looking films he's ever seen. He said, let me if I get the quote. Yeah, Roger Ebert, he gave this film 3.5 out of 4 stars. Called it one of the best looking movies he has ever seen. For a film, for especially a top critic like Roger Ebert to say something. A good praise to a film like this, to me that says a lot, because Roger, I agree and disagree with a whole lot of things what Roger Ebert says. I mean, rest in peace, Roger Ebert. I mean, that's the thing, we're all here agreed to disagree though, but for a guy like I expected him to give him a film like this a negative review, but to my surprise, he gave this film 3.5 out of 4 stars, and he called it one of the best looking films he's ever seen. That just surprises me to him to like a film like this. Hey, it can surprise anybody. So, but yeah, since this film was a flop, they wanted Billy Zane. He also wanted to sign up for 2 sequels, but since this film didn't do that well, that's canceled. And there was even a plan of doing a reboot. Do not do a reboot. I mean, how is it gonna be better than something like this? And especially someone better than Billy Zane. Who? But anyway, yeah, I don't know like how much of a praise I can give this film enough. I enjoyed The Phantom. I think this is an underrated superhero movie. It is. I think this is an underrated superhero film. People don't probably wouldn't like it because why? Because he's in a purple suit. Come on, I mean, if people can get past some of the superhero films of today and the suits they wear, I mean, come on. Just because it's a purple suit doesn't mean it's ridiculous. I mean, if that was how the Phantom was back then, come on. But I had a fun time. I still do have a fun time watching this movie on a very entertaining adventure level. And since this has also developed gained a cult following as well, so it has gone some fans over the years. Yeah, but I don't think this film was not on Blu-ray. I don't think. Sad to say. I don't think it is. Is it? I'm just saying here. Oh yeah, it was released on Blu-ray back in 2010, but I'm sure this film is hard to find now on Blu-ray, let alone on DVD, especially for this. But honestly, I'm glad I have it. So and this is a film I would never get tired of watching because I have watched this a lot of times over the years, and I still have fun with the movie. I remember. Sadly, my dad got to see this film back in the theater back in then, but sadly I never got to though. But I do remember seeing. I believe it was Subway. It was advertising for Subway, I believe. I do believe, if memory serves me right. Isn't it also the system? Sometimes I just miss the 90s, you know. Of course, I like the 80s and the 70s, though. But me growing up I grew up in the 90s. Well, I was born in 91, so all the stuff that was in the 90s, I just miss. Especially, you know, stuff like this. And like I said, I miss the 90s. I just was born in a time where some good movies back in through those years of the 90s. A lot of good movies I enjoyed. But that's my review of The Phantom. I give this film a thumbs up. I definitely give it much higher ratings than what IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes says. This film didn't deserve to flop. It was a very fun movie, and Billy Zane was great in the film. Definitely why him and the director was so passionate about making this film, and it shows. So that's my review of The Phantom, underrated superhero movie. Or underrated movie in general. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next movie review. Later.